Hi folks, it's been a few weeks, but we're back and we're reviewing the Orbea Wild. Stay tuned. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the summer, so if you could like and subscribe, we would be very, very grateful indeed. And don't forget to ring that notification bell. So, the Orbea Wild, well, how's it changed from last year? Well, to start with, they've ditched the FS from the back of the name. One, no one needs to know it's full suspension, it's pretty obvious, and I'm guessing in this era of saving weight, that FS off the back of the name has saved a few grams as well. So, it's a 170mm travel bike, 160 on the rear, so it's an enduro style bike. It's fitted with the Bosch Performance Line CX motor Smart System Edition. So it's got a 750 battery or a 625. Both are in frame, non-removable. We'll come back to more of that in a second. There are 4 carbon versions in the range and 3 aluminium. Prices range from roughly 5,500 up to 11,000 for the Emtb limited edition. The Wild FS was getting a little long in the tooth, although it was a fantastic bike, so they've made a few radical changes. The main change has been in the battery, so there is no longer the ability to remove the battery. This, Orbea tell us, has shaved 900 grams off the weight of the frame. It's also made the bike 51% stiffer. However, it does come with the compromise of not being able to remove the battery, which isn't going to work for everyone. So for those that don't have a power source where the bike is, that's going to be an issue. And for those that are, let's say, enduro racing and they need more than 750 watts of battery power in a race or over a race weekend, this is going to be an issue too. So each bike has the ability to come with either a 625 or a 750 watt hour battery. So it gives the rider the option of going lighter weight, slightly more nimble, or heavier weight but greater range. You do have to make this decision at the start when you order the bike though, because you can't change it at a later date, and the battery does not come out unless you take it to a retailer with a workshop that can actually remove the battery by dropping the motor out. It's not something you're going to be doing yourself, so you've got to factor that in when making that decision. So as I said, there are 7 bikes in the range, so there is a Wild for everyone, depending if you want one in the first place. But let us know, which would you go for? Which version most suits you, suits your budget and suits your riding style or the spec level you'd like to achieve? So let us know in the comments below, much appreciated. So weight is the main talking point with the rise. The rise? Not a rise. With the not rice. I thought you said rice. With the rice. So one of the main talking points with this Wild is weight, and it's very much a topic, a hot topic across the e-bike world. Everyone wants the lightest bike, but they still want full power. And this is where Wild have really sort of tackled this head on with this removable battery saving of weight. So they're telling us in the lightest guise, this bike will come in at 21 kilos. So we are talking the smallest battery option and the highest spec level in order to get that weight down to 21 kilos. The majority of the bikes are going to be in the, say, the 23 to 24 kilo mark, which is still lighter than the average bike, particularly with a 750 watt hour battery. So they have certainly hit the nail on the head with if their brief was to make the bike a lot lighter. And the stiffness of the frame is also a big plus point. And by removing the detachable battery, it makes the bike far less complicated inside. There's going to be less rattling of cables. There's going to be less faffing around getting the battery in and out, because the previous Wild FS was a bit of a pain. The battery cable routing and things like that could be problematic. Also problematic, annoying is probably more realistic. And ultimately, it's a much sleeker looking frame as well. Like and subscribe now! So what else is new? This bike comes with a very low, what's a lover? Well, this bike comes with a very low standover height, which Orbea tell us gives the rider the option of going up a size or down a size depending on their riding style. So it makes the frame sizes much more flexible. There's also a small, medium, large and extra large this time round, whereas previously there was only a small / medium, a large and an extra large. So we were very lucky and Orbea lent us a Wild M10 to test. Toby and I took it up on the downs along with the Merida E160 so that we could compare and contrast. And yeah, we took them up on the South Downs and we had a great time. And what did we think of it? Well, stay tuned.
Jason's about to do some absolutely mad stuff in a minute down here, so let's get it.
Have you liked and subscribed yet? Come on, clicky clicky. So to start with, I'd say the one word that summed up the bike better than anything else was
absolutely mad.
Balance. It was just balanced everywhere. It was a great climber, it was great descending, it was great through corners, it encouraged you to go a bit faster than where you would do normally. It just felt incredibly stable and you felt really confident in your ability to handle pretty much anything on the bike. You never had to worry about it. At no point did you feel like the bike could let you down, that You might reach the limits of what the bike's capable of at any moment and it sort of break free. It just felt constantly predictable. So, is this bike right for you? Well, to start with, this year there's been a big shift in the industry to try and produce these mid-powered bikes. We've seen the Fuel XE, the Focus SL, there's new Levo SL, plus the High Bike Lite. There's quite a few options out there. There's definitely a market there, and there are people who want to go down that route, but certainly we're finding the majority of people are still going full power. And this is where the Wild kind of toes the line between the two, because it is lighter than most full-powered bikes. So it is a bit more nimble, it is certainly lighter to pick up. When you physically manhandle it, you notice it's lighter than some of the other full-fat bikes on the market. I wouldn't say it's an in-between bike, because that's not fair. It is definitely on the full-power spectrum, but it does bridge the gap slightly, and so does the Merida E160 as well. They're both slightly lighter than the average full-powered bikes, but they are still heavier. There's no two ways about it. Pick that up and then pick up a Fuel XE. There is a drastic difference in weight. So I wouldn't say that they cross over, and frankly, Orbea wouldn't keep producing the Rise if the Wild would toe the line between the two, and the Rise is significantly lighter as well. You've got to decide which one do you want. A lot of people are still sticking to the full power bikes, possibly because their friends have full power bikes to start with, and they might get left behind, or they might worry about their range because they're going to have to put a bit more strain on the motor if they want to keep up with their friends who've got a full powered bike with a bigger battery. Whereas if you're going out with more people who are on regular bikes, then certainly the mid-power bikes are the way to go. So you've heard me waffling on for a little while. Why don't you tell us which is the right bike for you, which you prefer? Do you like mid-power? Do you like full power? Do you like the look of the new Wild? Is it something you'd be interested in? Let us know in the comments below. So we rode the M20, which was a great all-round bike. If I was to recommend which ones to buy, obviously budget, it depends on the rider, what budget you've got. I would say go for at the top end, I'd go for the M Team, not the M Limited. There's a big price difference between the two, and for me it's just not, from what I want, it's not quite justifiable. It's a bit like a wine menu when you're younger and you choose the second from top. So maybe go for the second from top for the highest spec. And in terms of the aluminium, if you can afford it, I'd go for the H10. It's a really well spec bike. There's not a massive amount of difference between the alloy and the carbon. The carbon is a slightly better ride, it's a better finish in terms of the paint job, but not the paint job, but the welds and things like that. But Orbea do very subtle welds anyway, so there's not a great deal to see between the two. But yeah, H10 if you're going alloy, and M Team if you're going carbon. So to conclude, is it my favourite bike ever? Possibly. Stay tuned till next week and you'll find out. I have said more than once that this is my favourite e-bike about an e-bike. And in my defence, I keep trying new ones, so I can't know until I've ridden them all. And they keep bringing more of them out. So I just can't say, is this definitively going to be my favourite e-bike? It is for now. I did prefer it to the Merida E160. For me, yes, if I was to purchase a full-powered e-bike tomorrow, I would choose the new Orbea Wild. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And if you've made it all the way to the end, thank you very much indeed. A big shout out to John, who I spoke to on the phone a moment ago.
Thanks,
Hope you're doing all right. And yes, if we don't see you in store, we will see you in the next video. Cheers.